Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I've got another Breath of Fire 3 character guide for you here. So this time we're going to talk Nina. Nina is definitely the party's, one of the party's amazing mages. Probably the best, natural mage. You can actually make Momo into a fantastic mage as well, but Nina just gets these abilities naturally, whereas Momo, you actually need to learn them from enemies and then transfer them over to her. But she's just again, you can see here she's got basically all of the elements, and she's got the really powered up versions as well. The Blizzard, Sirocco, Mjolnir. I'll be honest, I didn't use Nina as much this time around. I really pretty much just used her to gain abilities from certain masters. My original playthrough that I did and I uploaded, a billion years ago, I actually built her with agility, and I remember really, really liking that. And I think I had mentioned this in my array video as well, but I think that for these mages, what you really want to do on them is to actually add a bunch of agility to them, because you really want them to act first, and you want them to annihilate the enemies. Also, the other great thing about having really high agility, obviously, is the extra turns. But I think that works out really well. Basically, the last time that I played, I built Nina like a glass cannon. So she was crazy fast and really, really powerful, in terms of, casting. And again, I really liked that because you could kind of go through, the random areas and basically just annihilate anything before it even touched you. So I really, really liked that, and I thought that worked out really well. As far as her other abilities here, though, she's got Drain and Leech Power. So obviously, you're going to need to restore your AP, which, is great, which is why Leech Power is great. Nina's probably biggest issue actually is her HP. She just has so little to work with. That she kind of, needs things like Drain, but, honestly, what she really needs is you either need to grab some life shards for her, which I prefer to do. Otherwise, you need to stick a master that's going to have some HP growth as well, but we'll get into that in a little bit. As far as she's got some psionic abilities here as well, so she's got Blunt, Weaken, and Slow. These are actually some of the best debuffs in the game. Reducing power, reducing defense, and actually slowing enemies down is honestly it's really fantastic. And so she really excels there. You could also give her something like Mind Flay to, if you really want to get crazy with sticking debuffs on stuff, you could give that to her as well. But yeah, I think that works out pretty well. I remember in my my first playthrough with her, I used her for the Contest of Champions. To be fair, though, I had leveled her at a boatload before that and gave her a ton of agility, and I really liked that. I thought that was fantastic. But she can do good if you invest time in her. All right, so let's move right on into equipment. Ouroboros is her best weapon. That said, though, I think that the hidden dagger is actually really cool too. Very, very light, and also chance to instantly kill. I think that's really, really cool. The Ouroboros does have the 10 intelligence, although at the end of the day, I don't know, 10 intelligence. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of a toss-up between these two. Also, Nina's crazy accurate, so you generally don't have to worry about that. As far as her shield slot, it's the same answer that I always give for all these characters. It's Protectors. I think that's the best shield slot in the game. +2 to status effect resistance. As far as helmet, again, Silver Tiara. That's a no-brainer. It's by far her best. Helmet gives her status, death, psionic, defense, and so these two together gives her +4 total status resistance. Here for armor, her best is actually Diana's dress. +2 to status, death and psionics as well. It's basically the same exact status resistance here that the Silver Tiara gives. So the combination of these three items basically makes Nina completely immune to status effects. And again, I've said this in some of the earlier character guides, but I think status effect resistance is the most important. And so that actually is going to free you up to do some different things here for her accessories. I do think probably one Ivory Charm makes sense. That's going to give you some elemental defense and also some additional death resistance as well. Same with the psionics as well. That'll actually get you to 7 resistance on actually death. 6 resistance from death. The last item, it's probably a spirit ring. You may be able to get away with not using this and using some sort of elemental absorption. I guess you could do another Ivory Charm as well to basically nullify elements, but yeah, I think that this is probably her best setup here for gear. You're going to be, especially if you're kind of kind of going the way that I suggest there with building a bunch of agility for her so that she can act first and basically just annihilating everything immediately with spells. Then you're going to need a bunch of either AP, or you need to be reducing the amount of AP that you or I guess reducing the amount of AP of the spells that you're casting. So your choice on what you want to do there. But again, I think that is the best way to go for her. As far as abilities, you'll also probably, if you're doing this, for bosses anyway, you're going to want to use like Meditate, right? So that you can actually up the potency of your spells as well, and probably try to reduce some of the AP that you're using, via like that route, right? It's a lot like using Focus with Ryu and then using an Aura. I just think that that's probably the better way to go. She could also kind of do some other stuff as well with the enemy skills. You could probably throw a shield on her, if you wanted to do that. That would at least, allow her to do, kind of fill a buffer role. You could do Purify early on. You can get that from Handara, so you'd have another person to, remove poison. And she does have so much AP that skills like that would actually be really nice for her to kind of give other people like Ryu a break from using his AP to get rid of poisons and that sort of thing. So that's a really good option. Later on, once you finally get to the Desert of Death, and I know that's extremely late, but you do get Cure. That would be another amazing ability for Nina. Unfortunately, Cure is a very, very expensive ability, but it is a great heal, and it also does remove the status effects. So that's another, fantastic ability. Benediction, very, very expensive, but a chance to revive your other two characters if they've died. The only problem with that is if your other two characters have died, then Nina has probably already died. So, maybe not as interesting as for there. I'm going to take a look at my skill notes here. I'm just kind of curious if there's anything else that we could really do with her. I suppose if you wanted to swap out, if you're using Ray, you could have Nina be your influencer. But I don't think that that's that great though either, because Nina has such low HP that the problem is that if Nina gets knocked out, then you're going to lose the influence, and Ray will then go back to kind of berserking and potentially hitting you as well. And if you're able to either dump a ton of life shards on her or build up her HP, then maybe you don't have to worry about that so much, but that can be pretty brutal for her. But again, so definitely use meditation for her. I think that makes a lot of sense. Resist may be interesting. I don't know. I tend to not really enjoy that skill. It does make you, invulnerable though for a turn. So somebody like Nina, I don't know. There's not so many people that that this really makes that much sense on. But rest, I don't know, not that great of a way to restore Bad way to restore your health. Not a great way to restore your AP. Ebb and Fire. Non-elemental attacks are kind of nice, so this could work on her. Recall is kind of just fun, right? It just casts random spells, and with somebody like Nina who has tons of AP, then that can be kind of fun. Super combo, I don't know, probably not worthwhile. It's very expensive, but who cares when you've got the AP pool that she's got. The problem, though, is that she's just not going to do very much damage with this because her physical attack is just not that good. Let's see, what else? Target Tsunami, Wall of Fire. Yeah, Purify, I already talked about that. That'd be that's definitely an option for her to give, again, some people like Momo or Ryu a break, right, and to conserve their AP. If you've been poisoned either during or after combat, you could use this Purify spell with Nina instead. Enlighten is a solid ability. Barrier, again, if you want to give her a kind of a bit more of a buffing role. Right now, Momo has my War Shout, but War Shout would work on Nina as well. Shield, again, fantastic ability, especially for somebody like Nina who has so much AP. You could then, use her for some early buffs. Transfer, I don't know. I'm tempted to say that this would be okay for Nina, right? Because you could transfer AP from her to Ryu. And one interesting thing that I found about this was that you can have a Spirit Ring equipped, which is going to reduce the amount of AP that Nina spends on transfer, but she'll still transfer over 10 to Ryu, which, could keep his dragon form kind of going, if you're using a cheap one, I guess. So those are some, kind of interesting things that you can do. Air Raid is actually a really interesting ability for her as well if you invest in her agility. Air Raid, basically hits the enemy and also sometimes cancels their next move. And so that can be fantastic. The only way, though, that this works is if you're faster than your enemy, right? She has to act first, hit them, and potentially cancel their move. Intimidate works as well on her. And this is basically the same thing, except it doesn't actually deal damage. Intimidate will just basically cancel their turn. That can be kind of an interesting way of getting or stopping enemies from getting their turns. Like if you're trying to delay them while you steal or something like that. You could throw a Gloom on her and do the Gloom Kiri combo. I mentioned that in one of the other character guides as well. You basically turn the enemy undead and then you one-shot them with Kiri. So again, if your enemy that you're fighting is vulnerable to status effects, you can use this. It's actually one of the cheesy ways that you can take out the Goo Titans pretty early on. Goo Titans are very vulnerable to status effects, and you can hit them with Gloom, and then take them out in one shot. Otherwise, early on, if you've got Typhoon, that works, but Nina learns it pretty early as well. But all right, so let's talk Masters. I'm really not sure what she really, or what I would consider a good master early on. I'm tempted to say Migas, right? Because the power and defense, I mean, she really can't afford to be losing much defense because she doesn't have any HP to really deal with the lack thereof. Yggdrasil is maybe pretty good, right? A little bit of AP there. The defense would be good, and then the 2 intelligence, that's pretty solid. The weakness to flame doesn't matter that much. Pretty early on, you could grab yourself the Ring of Fire from Mount Zublo. The HP, though, that hurts. I mean, Nina just really can't afford to be losing any more HP. So that's a tough sell. Delonzo here, same thing. You don't really want to be losing any HP with her, but the agility is probably worth it, to be completely honest, and for exactly the reasons that I stated earlier. If you're able to move really, really quickly, you can take advantage of things like Air Raid, or just nuke them down very, very quickly before they even get a turn. So I definitely think Delonzo is probably the best option for her for a very long time. Fall, this would be questionable as well. The problem though, the bigger problem with Fall is the -3 agility. I really don't think that that's good, but it does give you the 4 HP and the 3 defense. And boy, Nina needs all the HP and defense she can get. So this would be maybe a second master that I may consider. Durandal, I actually usually level with him with Nina because he becomes available right after she becomes available, and I usually actually just do that. Gyatto would be another potential option here. Obviously, we're getting the 4 HP, the 3 AP. She doesn't really need the AP though. She really does need the HP. But the detriment here is the minus defense and the minus agility. I think that those really hurt her. So I'd question if that would be that great. Hondara would be okay here as well. AP and intelligence +1, pretty good. And the loss of the power, don't care because I'm not counting on her for using physicals. Emitai is another great option for her. Even more AP for her and a ton of intelligence. You really want to be boosting up her spells as much as you can. Don't really care about the power. The defense does suck though. Dias, once she becomes available, is also amazing for her. It does hurt though, the HP and the defense, because again, Nina is not looking good when it comes to HP and defense, but extra AP, extra intelligence, and agility. All very, very solid stats for her. Everybody else I don't really think is all that impressive. Maybe Mary Leap would work as well, and again, for the reason that I stated, the extra agility. Also dodge, pretty good that, Mary Leap's got that hidden dodge bonus. But again, extra agility there, get her, acting first in combat, do some fun stuff with her air raid, nuke everything down, intimidate, any of that stuff. Also, buffs, it always helps to have your buffer acting first. Ladin, I can't really say that he's good for her either. Now, to be fair, you don't get him until the very end of the game, and so most of your leveling is probably already done, but boy, losing even more HP, not the way to go. I would say, again, either early on, you're going to want to do either a Delonzo or a Mary Leap when she becomes available. You can eventually transition into Dias, maybe even Emitai. The thing is, though, and what I actually probably recommend doing the most of anything, is getting yourself into Momo's tower and steal life shards for her. Fix her HP with life shards. It's time consuming, it sucks, but it's doable, and especially once you get Charm. Charm makes that process, much more doable. But that is it for Nina. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.